friends, Goddess of Awesome here, and I just got back from the Apple store. It's a 3.5 hour wait, so I came home. I don't know if you can see my awesome little headpiece, but my horse trainer made this amazing thing. It's a braid of braids. It has 3 of my horse's manes in it, and I just love it. So I think it's actually a keychain, but I'm gonna wear it as a headpiece. So I want to wrap up a little bit more on the guilt and shame, you know, feeling healthy guilt and shame is versus unhealthy guilt and shame. And honestly, I don't really think a lot of guilt and shame is healthy, but you know, if you're a sexual abuser and you're harassing people, you know, there might be some space for you to feel a little bit of that, you know. It's never okay to project unnecessary or unwanted energy onto anybody, no matter what it is, sexual or otherwise, you know. So I want to get back really quick to my brother. You know, my brother's homeless. He's living down the street in a beater car that my mom's supposed to sell. You know, she has a for sale sign in it. Supposedly it's for sale. Now it seems to be my brother's rain house, you know, because he's homeless here in my neighborhood now because he destroyed his house, literally ripped it apart, you know, tore out everything that was functional, gutted it basically, with no means to rebuild it. So, you know, he beats himself up, right, for all the things he used to do to me as a kid. You know, I've healed from it, so I'm okay being his friend. I can be his friend now, you know. I love my brother, you know. I feel sorry for him that he's had a hard life, you know. I feel sorry that he didn't have a better dad. He didn't have a dad at all, really. And I feel sorry, you know, for my mom for having had such a high-maintenance kid. You know, she doesn't know what to do with him. She's at her wit's end. But it's a little bit crappy that she's let him, just showed up, let him be homeless in my neighborhood so I get to see him. You know, I've helped my family for a long time. You know, there's a video out there, I think it's about my pain pushing me towards greatness, you know, and the fact that I have put 10 grand into a vehicle, an RV for my mom. But that's not the only big things I've done for her. You know, she moved, my mom's a hoarder. Now, she's not one of those buried alive type people. She's not ever gotten that bad, thank God. But she hoards, you know, she doesn't ever she's a keeper. She doesn't ever use things that I give her. She just keeps it, you know. She loves a 99-cent store. She'll go spend tons of money there because it's 99 cents. Oh my God, what a deal. You know, if something's on sale, she's got to buy a ton of it, you know. Like, I go to the store to get things I want, or need, I should say. If something I need happens to be on sale, score, that's cool. But I'm not going to go buy 50 things of one thing because it's on sale this week. And oh my God, I got to buy 25,000 things of toilet paper, and I need 1 million paper towels, and I need tons of canned things. And I don't do that, you know. My grandma did that. She's a child of the Depression, you know. So my grandma was definitely a pack rat, but she's an organized pack rat, you know. My mom's not an organized. She's not really that organized about stuff. So, you know, feeling guilt and shame. You know, I feel bad for my brother to feel guilt and shame. He hasn't really dealt with a lot of his issues as far as the abuse he caused towards me. You know, I've forgiven him, but he has not forgiven himself. Maybe he never will. You know, some of you out there might think he probably never should. But, you know, I think when you come to grips with, you realize the pattern of abuse, you know, that it truly does matriculate down the lines. You know, my brother's a victim of sexual abuse. He was acting out on the nearest person to him, his little sister, what he learned, you know, and he was a kid. So, I mean, is my brother a monster? No, my brother's not a monster. You know, the person who did it to my brother was a teenager at the time. So, you know, there's reasons why people aren't allowed to do things until they're 18 or 21. You know, the rational mind of young people is still developing as a teenager. You know, so probably the person who did it to my brother didn't have his full facilities in order either. You know, is that excusable? You know, on some level, no, not really. You know, from a healed point of view, I can see differently. You know, from being a person who's been caused this pain, from someone taking or forcing that which is not welcomed, that's never okay, you know. But getting back to shame and guilt, so I have been dealing with some guilt, some feelings of guilt when I see my brother, you know, walking around homeless on my street now. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for that. It's really, really cool. Love you for that. I don't even know what to say. It's kind of despicable. She never even gave me a heads up. Never told me what she did. She just dumped him. Now what? He's my problem to inherit? Now I have a one-bedroom house. You know, I'm on a mission to complete some major projects. I can't be adopting people's problems. You know? I'm 39 right now. When I was getting ready to turn 30, my Saturn return was coming around. You know, 30 is a hard age for a lot of people. You know, when we hit 30, for some reason, sometimes we have mental meltdowns, and I definitely did. I wanted desperately to get out of the industry, desperately. I wanted to let go. You know, I was turning 30. I felt like if I was going to save myself at any time and maybe have a potential to have a life mate or even a family, it should have probably been done at 30. You know, at 39, I'm at the end of my childbearing years. You know, I'm not in a hurry to go become a mom. I mean, I was open to the idea, but at this point, I'm not going to force that. You know, I'm certainly not going to have a kid without a dad around. You know, then my mom would love that. She told me when I got this house 5 years ago, well, you know, it's a different day and age, and you can have a baby all by yourself if you want. Yeah, you can, but I don't want to be a struggling parent. You know, I don't want to be like my mom and have to work every second of the day and not be around my kid. What's that going to be like? Does that mean that my mom would be here living with me and she'd be raising my kid while I go out and make all the money? No, I'm not okay with that. You know, she got to raise her kids. That's all she's going to raise of my stuff. You know, I'm not going to have a baby for my mom to raise it, you know. Like I said, she's not the most organized person in the world. Now, she's a very loving person. My mother is a very loving person. She's not a, you know, she's never been critical to us. She's never been judgmental to us. She's, you know, she didn't want me running around with a bare midriff when I was in my pre-teens and stuff. And she didn't want me smoking cigarettes as a kid. I totally get that. That's okay. That's good, actually. Good job, Mom. But I don't need to have a baby so my mom can never go, you know, so I can marry my mom. You know, she'd be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I'm also not okay with having a full-time mom living with me. I'm in my 30s. I'm 39, turning 40. You know. Hi, handsome man who wants to maybe date me. Hi. Oh, by the way, you also get to, if you marry me, you get to marry my mom. She's never going to go away. It's a Siamese twin situation here, connected at my hip. So, handsome man, whoever you are, contemplating getting with this, guess what you get to have as a bonus? You get to inherit my mother. I'm not okay with that. Absolutely not, you know. I do hold space for maybe I could have a life partner at some point, you know, maybe when my hands are completely free from the work of central massage, you know. I think a lot of guys could handle it if it was in the history, you know, not the present. And I love my mother dearly, you know. Absolutely, I want her to be healthy and happy and content. I want her to be safe at night. I want her to have her own home. But I can't put me to the side anymore to help create that for her. She's a full-time project. You know, she's had a lot of years to get her act together. You know, she keeps doing the same crap, thinking that it's going to be different. You know, she likes to breed dogs, you know. There's a lot of dogs dying every day because they don't have homes. And yet there's people like my mother who think it's okay to just breed and breed and breed and breed and breed. And I don't agree with that. You know, growing up, every single one of my siblings, including myself, had major issues towards dogs because we were my mom's dog slaves. And you hear my baby dog barking right now. He wants to come in. He'll bark once and he'll wait for a long while and then he'll bark again. He's a really good boy. So, guilt, you know, I do feel guilty for not extending myself to my brother right now, but I can't do that. I've been doing it for a decade. You know, when my mom moved out of Santa Clarita, I was there to help pack her up. My uncle and my aunt, we did it, you know, and my brother moved my mom to a 6-bedroom house. Like a hoarder needs that, you know. It was her dream home, you know. Too bad she had some asshole neighbors. You know, she moved to Yuppieville, and Yuppieville's not cool with a whole bunch of clutter in the backyard, you know, because she's a big dog person. You know, she didn't ever use her garage for the appropriate use, like storing things. You know, she had a significant property. I would say it was maybe 3 acres, 2.5 acres, something like that. And there was out in the backyard, there was a slab of concrete for a full-size court, basketball thingamabob. And my mom just dumped all her junk from her garage there, right? She never went through it. She never organized it. She never figured it out. You know, she left my grandpa, her father's beloved antique trains were left out there for the duration of what she had that property for, 2 years or more. You know, when it came time to actually pack everything up, she was heartbroken. Just heartbroken when she seen those antique trains weathered and ruined, you know. But she never had the drive to organize her crap. You know, so on some level, I can't blame her neighbors for not liking her. They all had big properties, you know, they're beautiful spaces. And then my mom brings a heap of junk and leaves it in the backyard for a million years. And now those neighbors, that's what they got to stare at every time they went outside. You know, they were mean. They didn't need to handle things the way they did. They were over the top. You know, bullies. They were absolute bullies, you know. She didn't deserve some of the stuff they did to her, you know, but she definitely was an animal hoarder. You know, that's what she kept in the garage, was all her animals, you know, all her dogs, all her litters of puppies that were never ending. And I'll try to wrap this up and then say goodbye, but, you know, she had been warned, you know, by animal control. They came in, checked her out, seen how many litters she had, and told her you're only allowed to have 3 litters a year. If they come back and notice any new litters, she's in big trouble. Deaf. Just that information fell upon deaf ears. And you know, some old habits die hard, right? So of course she didn't listen to that, and she just kept breeding them because for her they're a money maker, which I don't agree with. And also she never really made money off of them. You know, bags and bags and bags and bags of dog feed, all her shots, all the bullshit that goes into supporting the animal. When she got those few little dollars back, it wasn't like she made anything. She didn't make anything, you know? So now with her new house, I'm just terrified she's going to do the same thing. I don't even want to go visit her new house. I'm scared too. You know, there probably won't be a place for anybody to sit down or let alone lay down. She's not a homemaker. My mother has never been a homemaker. She's not a person to put things up on the walls and make it look nice, you know. She doesn't make it comfortable. You know, she stacks things in the corner. There cannot be a corner available or open. I think that drives her a little bit insane, you know. You can't have any open space. You can't have any spaciousness. It has to be filled with something. You know, we were little kids. Before the whole time she lived in Santa Clarita, there was not a hallway that was normal. You really just had one hall in that house, but boxes are stacked along the side of the hall, so you had to be skinny to walk through the hallway, you know. So yeah, my brother, I felt guilt for a long time for my mom, like needing to help her. Someone called me her hero child. Maybe that's true. I've definitely risen up and helped my mom. When it came time for her to get rid of the 6-bedroom house, just a lot of crap. I got to do another video on this, But long story short, that was when I had my apartment in Hawaii. I'm getting ready to go back to my island. I hit one of my better towns to make my money, right? Make my plane ticket, get some money to live on and go. And as I'm getting ready to do this, I get a phone call from my aunt and uncle that they need an atrocious dumpster because they're cleaning out the garage and they're cleaning out the house and they got to get my mom out of there because she lost the house and blah, blah, blah. She actually went to jail for animal cruelty right around that time. She wasn't even really around to pack up her own house, So I had financed a $1,000 dumpster. Now it's not cheap. Definitely put a glitch in my path. That wasn't part of my plan. It's not what I needed to do. My best friend Rebecca was on her way to the airport, packed up and ready to go. She's getting ready to catch her flight, and I call and tell her, hey, can we go in a week? Can we delay this? Well, on her side, she said, hell no, she's on her way, and that's good. Good for her. She was smart. I didn't need to be there I wanted to be there. It was the plan. But she could be there without me. And that's what she did. She stayed for there a week before I got there, so I could overwork myself and pay for a big old dumpster. Help my mom get out of her house. So I haven't just given my mom money for the RV. I've helped her a lot along the way. Now, she will rebuttal this and say that she's helped me too. Well, yeah, she has. She's my mom. She's helped me. And when I got arrested in 2015, there was nobody there better for me than my mother. Thank you for that, Mama. Thank you. I try to keep my house. I try to sneak into some good towns without being able to be who I am. Put up a different website, use a different name, a different phone number, a whole different persona. Well, people didn't trust it, and so I didn't get booked, I didn't go in as my normal person. So people didn't come see me. So there's a few bunk trips I took, right? My mom, my dear loving mother would give me her whole paycheck, which wasn't much, $500 or so. And I took an airplane ride to try to go make my rent, and it didn't happen a few times, So I definitely owe her a few bucks, from those trips that I didn't ever make my money, At least I saved my house. I don't know how, by the grace of God, I saved my house, But, so she helped me for what? A year? Just over? I've been helping her for a decade. And that's just that decade. My whole 30s. Doesn't count the 20s, because she moved into that 6-bedroom house in my late 20s. I helped her then. It doesn't count for anything that I helped any other time in my whole entire life. I've been one of her best helpers. I am sick and tired of having to help my mother. I am so tired of it. I don't understand why she never went to school to become a nurse or to pursue the music industry that she loves, Like she could have been a music teacher. Anything. When I found Amazon.com and the FBA Amazon, I told her all about it. I was so excited just this last fall. This is what we need to do. This is what you should do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what you should do. This is her idea. Well, why don't we do it together? No, we're not going to do it together. Why? So I can do all the work? So I can do all the research? So I can finance it? And then she'll get half of what I do because she wants to do it with me. That's no, absolutely not. It's readily and available for all persons who seek it. Go get it. I'm getting mine. I'm here making videos for you. That's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm not supposed to be running myself into the ground anymore. I physically can't do it. So I do feel guilty about not helping my brother somewhat, but I can't not allow myself to feel that. I have helped a lot. I've helped this for a decade strong. I have helped my entire 30s. I'm 39, turning 40 in a month. Today is March 23rd. I turned 40 on April 27th. I refuse to continue with this pattern any longer. I am saving my 40s for me. She got my 30s. I gave her pretty much my whole 30s, you know, dedicated to helping my mom. That's 10 years. She could have went to nursing school, or she could have done something, you know? But she has a different mindset, and I don't know the space available in her mind. She doesn't have the space to include some things, you know? My sister, who's an RN, she's a little annoyed with the whole process also, because my mom's had a long time to figure out what she wants to be when she grows up, you know? I don't know if she's ever, I don't even know if today she knows that, what she wants to be when she grows up. But I do know that I can't keep helping her. I can't keep allowing her to stay here. You know, now that she's gone because I'm a mean, cold bitch, I've had to become vile to get my space. You know, she's my mom. I would think that she would know that I need personal space. She should know a few things about me, right? She's my mom, but it doesn't matter. There's certain things she doesn't care, you know? If I permitted her to stay here twice a week like she wants, she'd be here. She'd be here. She'd have been here last night, being Thursday. And then she'd be here every Monday. I can't have that. I'm sick and tired of people in my space. I'm tired of talking to people when I don't want to talk. You know? I can't get nothing done with my mom sitting here like a bump on a log. You know? She just try to be helpful a little here and there, but it's not what I need. What I need is my space. I need to be able to be creative. I need to be able to get into my work. And I can't get into my work with people in my world, you know? So guilt and shame, you know, there's appropriate times to feel it, I suppose. You know, if you've done something horrible, maybe you're entitled to feel some guilt and shame, you know. In general, I'm going to say we should probably release a lot of that because it doesn't serve anybody. It will slow you down. And then what about my space right now? I mean, what about the place where I'm at right now? Do I put myself to the side again? Position myself again? Push pause on my dreams and goals so I can help my homeless brother, who's very destructive, right? He rips things apart sometimes in his frustration. When he lived here for 2 years, I had bought a set of recliners. You know, it came with a deal for Father's Day, buy one, get one free, something like that. So I bought him one, gave it to him in the garage. You know, he didn't have it more than a few weeks. He beat it up. Just beat it up. I mean, like he probably physically boxed with it. You know what I mean? Ruined it. $400 chair. I had to have the people come fix it. It wouldn't bend and snap right. So I'm a little upset with my mom for bringing my brother to be homeless here. I'm sad every single time I see him. It occupies some of my mental space, right? Some of my emotional space. It's been raining the last handful of days. Before I seen him in the car a handful of days ago, I was worried about him. Like, what's he doing out in the rain, sleeping in the rain, you know? I don't need to be using my mind like that right now. I have so many other things to do, you know? So when do you not feel guilt? Right? When is a good time to choose not to feel guilty about some things? I'm going to say this kind of situation. You know, I've given and given and given and given and given and given and given. I can make a lifetime career path out of just helping my needy family. But you know what? That doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help me, and it's not helping them. It helps them in the moment, but it's not helping them long term. You know, it's just empowering them to be needy. It's empowering them to lean on me too much, to ask too much of me. So what's up if I had a man, huh? And I had kids and a different life? Are they still going to be able to do this? Probably not, because probably my life partner would say, what's up? We can't be taking on all your needy family for 1,000,000 years. You know why? Because it did never go away. It doesn't go away. No one's gone to school. I haven't seen anybody of them go to school. My mom hasn't gone to school. Maybe she took a dance class at COC a few years back, but she has not put herself on a career path to reach tangible goals to serve her long term. It hasn't happened, you know? My brother could definitely use a mentor, and hopefully one day he gets that. I definitely think my brother deserves a chance, you know? But I'm not in a position to open up my home, let him live in my garage, you know? Let him be in my kitchen, listen to him pee and poop in my bathroom that's right up against my bed. You know, my bedroom with my bed is right up against where the toilet is. And I get to hear that all day long, all night long. I've already done that. We did that for 2 years. Enough, you know? So when is a good time to not feel guilty about things? I'm going to say when you have given too much. I'm sick of my dog barking. When you have given too much, when you have put all what you can out there and they keep sucking you dry, that's when you cut it off. Enough, you know? A decade is plenty. It's been 5 years in this house alone. Enough. You know, now I get to be mean girl. I get to be bitch, ultra bitch. Like if I was a transformer, I'd be mega bitch. That'd be my name. I guess that would make me a Decepticon. They bring that out in me, you know, by asking too much of me for too long. And now that she's gone, because I had to be cruel and mean and say, you can't come back here, I'm sick of it. I'm no more sleepovers. And then she brings my homeless brother here, so I get to see him every day when I drive by. And he looks so sad, and I feel so bad. And it eats me up. And I feel bad, like guilty. But at this point, I now feel more bad for myself, right? Me feeling bad for anybody, the weight has shifted, and I feel more bad for myself now. I feel more bad for me than I do for them. You know, I'm sick of being used. And it's not just been that family. I have an uncle who leaned on me for a long time too, you know, after my grandma died. I need help paying my storage. I need help. I need help. Really? You're a freaking man. I do hand jobs. Every time somebody asks me for money, what they're really asking me to do is, hey, Sarah, can you go do a hand job for me and give me the money? Can you go do that? Hello. Oh my God, Siri started to talk to me. Anyways, I'll cut the video out now. I'm choosing not to feel guilty for my not helping my family. You know, there may be a day that I help them again. That might happen. But it can't happen anytime soon. It can't happen with me not being at a space and place where I can comfortably help them. Right now, I don't even know how I'm going to make my next month's rent. You know, this last trip was awful financially. I skipped a lot of my better towns to keep myself safe, you know, to not get arrested. I skipped a lot of my $2,000 cities. You know, that significantly hurt me. I cannot help anybody right now. If you need help right now, don't ask me. Don't even think about asking me. See, because at this point, I don't even want to talk to my mom. I don't even want to see her. When I see her, it's like, ugh, the energy's heavy, you know? Ugh, what do you need of me now? Ugh, what do I have to pull out of myself to give to you because you don't have enough? I'm done with that. I can't help anybody. I can't help my brother as much as my heart wants to. It weighs on me. But I can only help myself right now, you know? If you need a place to stay because you don't have a house, don't come here. Don't ask me. It's going to be a big fat no. And at this point, I won't even use my words. It's going to be energy. You will feel it. You will feel the energy come off of me. Get the hell back! Get back! You know, it's almost the same kind of energy you have to give to a horse sometimes when they want to walk on you. Get back. You know? Don't stand on me. I'm not a frickin' welcome mat like that. I'm not a doormat like that. And I'm mad that I'm even having to make you a video about this right now. It pisses me off. We should be talking about other things, you know, but I'm making this video because there's a lot of you out there who are dealing with this as well. I'm sure I cannot be the only person dealing with this, you know? So, there you go. There's appropriate times to feel shame and guilt, if you've been really low down and dirty and you feel remorseful about it, maybe you should feel a little bit shameful and guilty and fix it. Do something about it. Own your stuff. Accept your personal responsibility in the matter and try to create space of where you can remedy it. And then choose better choices. And make your apologies to the people you've hurt, and they may never accept that apology, ever. And they're entitled to that, you know? But if it comes from your heart and you're going to say, I'm sorry, that's all you can do if it's true for you. And then move on, leave them alone, and go on with yourself. Make better choices down the road. And you know, if you're someone out there who has a big heart like me, who helps people, when people come to you for help, you know, that can only last for so long, where it will be detrimental to you. You know, fill your cup and then fill others with the overflow, right? I am not overflowing right now. I am not. I've had moments where I come back from a good trip and then I want to help people. And maybe there's a smidgen of the appearance of overflow, but it's not that. That's not a sustainable source, you know? I have to go get that each time, and there's no guarantee that I'm even going to have a fruitful mission. This last mission wasn't fruitful whatsoever. So, you know, you may have loved ones out there who are draining you dry, and there comes a time where you have to have self-love, and you can't give them everything you want to. You're going to feel bad about it. You might feel guilty about it, and you just got to banish that guilt. You can't allow yourself to feel it, because, I mean, for me right now, I feel worse for me. Thank God I made it to this space where I now feel bad for me. I'm more bad, I mean, I'm not sitting around wallowing feeling bad, but I feel worse helping them than I do not to help them. You know, not to help them. It's okay right now. I can't. I don't have anything to give. You know, what do you need? Do you need all my blood? Is that what you need? Is that what you need from me now? Now you don't need just my money. Now you need my blood? Are you gonna... That's what it feels like. You know, freaking vampires. I don't think my loved ones mean to vamp me, but they are. And it feels like it every time I see my brother now homeless on my street. My heart leaps out of my chest. My brain gets occupied. I feel like I should be helping him. And the answer to that question or that equation is that I absolutely cannot. I don't have anything. I don't have anything to give right now. So hopefully my relationship with my mom will improve. I'd like to see her become an independent woman. Do her thing. I'd like to see her stop breeding dogs. Stop it already. It hasn't helped you your whole entire life. If it did, you'd be rich right now, right? Why aren't you rich yet? All your goddamn dog breeding. Oh, it makes me money. No, it doesn't. You know, and I have, you know, a desire to breed my horses at some point, but you know, if I was a breed hungry people, they'd all be knocked up right now. And none of them are with foal. None. When my stallion came home, if I had any mentalness like my mother, every single one of them would be bred. It's not happening here. You know, I've had mares my whole life, just about. My Tennessee Walker is 10 years old. You know, she's not with us anymore, but I never bred her. I never had the desire to breed her. You know, horses die every year in this, every day horses die in this country. You know, they were not allowed to sell horse meat anymore, I don't think, but Europeans do. You can buy horse meat and eat it in Europe. But that doesn't mean that horses aren't euthanized in this country every day at shelters because they don't have a home, you know. I had somebody who wanted to breed her stud to, her beautiful Arabian stud to my thoroughbred that I had for 8.5 years. I mean, she wanted that to happen so bad. On some level, I feel bad we never did it because her stallion died and it just broke her heart, you know. Maybe she could have had his baby, but I had no desire to breed that horse, you know. She wasn't a great brain. Why would I? The only reason I would ever consider breeding my horses is they are too gorgeous not to. And I have specific purposes for them. Each and every horse that I own ever will always have a job. And I'm not trying to create an assembly line here or a factory of let's just push out as many babies as possible. Hell no. No. I'd breed for quality if and when that day happens. And I would be highly selective on who I chose to allow to purchase one if I ever decided to let them go like that. Or I may just create some kind of youth program, and that might just be the way it goes, you know, and use them. You give my horses jobs, you know. So unhealthy guilt is never good, you know. So if you're out there and you're feeling strained from people taking too much, there needs to be a time when you put your foot down and you don't allow that anymore, because they'll never stop. They'll never stop. You know, feed a man dinner and feed him for a night, or teach him to fish and feed him for a lifetime. That's pretty much what it is. They need to learn how to fish. And at this point, I can't be concerned with my mom and what her choices are. She's a grown woman. She's making her own choices, and that's cool. Do your thing, Mom. But if you start breeding dogs like you did before, if you're gonna pump your house full of animals and you don't care what you do, you don't make it a nice space, you know, you don't keep it like a home, you know, be a homemaker, I don't ever want to come visit. I don't ever want to see it. I don't want to be part. I don't want to smell it, you know. I'd be embarrassed for anyone in that town to know you're my mom if that's what you're going to do. You know, you moved to a small town just now. Just be aware. Small towns, you know. Everybody knows everybody. So yeah, so my brother, you know, I hope he gets on his feet. You know, when I took him that roach this morning, the half-smoked big old blunt, just more than not half-smoked. There was a lot there. You know, I didn't want the marijuana to go to waste. Figured my brother would enjoy it, you know. I'd like to see him do, and herb is okay, you know, just not the speed or the hard drugs, like just no chemicals. Anyways, when I gave it to him, I told him, hey, you want this? I'm not smoking anymore. I haven't smoked for over 3 weeks. And he's like, I'm thinking about quitting too. He's like, this next little bit that I have, I want to quit after that. So I'm like, well, that's cool. You know, maybe he does. That'd be great. I'd love to see my brother get into a situation where he can thrive. You know, he's on SSI. He's been on SSI his whole life. You know, he can't survive on that. Nobody can, you know. So hopefully he can find a situation, a living situation, something that he treasures, something he won't tear up. You know, if he's going to keep tearing up any living environment that he occupies, then obviously there's only one answer, and that's not to have a home, right? He's got to be homeless then if he keeps dismantling and tearing up his environment, you know? So again, I can only feel so bad. There's only so much I can allow myself to feel bad for, and the rest of it is all personal choice on their ends. His end, my mom's end. But what annoys the hell out of me is that my mother brought my brother here to my street to be homeless on my street. So I get to see it every day. I just got her out of my world, and here he is, you know? It's messed up. I don't know where my next place will be, but I'm thinking maybe a gated community where nobody can just show up whenever the hell they feel like it. I'm sick of that. So, okay, so I'm the Goddess of Awesome. Thanks for letting me vent. And thanks for listening. I'm not sure if you made it through this whole video, but if you have, I appreciate you very much. I love you dearly. Bright blessings and be well.